Hello, everyone. Very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us today for the webinar, Masters at Ashoka Application Process and Financial Aid. I am Keshav Kumar. I'm a master's student at Ashoka University. Uh, Joining me today are Jayati Bhatia and Munaja Rashid. Jayati Bhatia is the Assistant Director in the Office of Financial Aid at Ashoka University. A very warm welcome to you, Jayati. Uh, Next, we have with us Munaja Rashid. She is the assistant manager in the Office of Admissions at Ashoka University. Welcome, Munaja.
Thank
Uh,
you.
bef- Before we begin, I want to inform our audience that the deadline to apply for the MA Economics and MA English programs at Ashoka University is 27 March 2024. So without further ado, let's get started.
Thank you so much, Keshav, for that very detailed introduction. What we will do, first of all, is to start off the session, we will walk through the application process of both the programs, MA English and MA Economics program. I'll quickly share my screen and I will walk you through the slides. And we will talk about the program in detail. Yes. First of all, we'll cover the MA English program offered at Ashoka. The key areas of focus for the master's program of English at Ashoka are the exploration of literature across various genres, cultures, and chronologies, critical and creative thinking aspects, in-depth research, where a thesis will be mandatory, exposure to different disciplines across English to engage interdisciplinarity. Ashoka University is known for its culture of interdisciplinarity and multidisciplinarity. Even at a master's level, students are encouraged to engage with different disciplines, with different courses to get a sense of that. And engagement with the larger world, which is also mindful of our South Asian culture, is also looked at. The course structure is as such that the master's in English program is a 2-year program, and it is a semester. It is divided across 4 semesters. 1 year will comprise of 2 semesters. And your dissertation and your thesis will be a part of your final year or your final semesters. Students can pursue a concentration and also specialize in a particular field. And if they do so, their prime focus of their thesis will be on that particular field as well, where they want to specialize or where they want to do their concentration in. Students also opt not to do a concentration, and they can also in that case, explore various different fields and various different disciplines, which are also discussed initially. Now we will go into the depths of what concentrations are offered. We talk about the global medieval culture, which is the first concentration that we'll talk about. Global medievalisms, utopia and the Middle Ages, medieval travel writing, among various other disciplines are here. Various other concentrations are here. We talk about the global and Indian Shakespeare. Shakespeare in the Indian context, Masala Shakespeare is one aspect of such. Spectres of Hamlet, Shakespeare and the World, adapting Shakespeare. We have modern literature and culture as well. Trauma and disaster is one of the prime aspects of this concentration. Cinema and violence being the other, loss and longing, and the rhetoric of social protest. Next, we'll talk about the faculty, which the very renowned faculty of Ashoka. We have Rita Kothari, the head of the Department of English. Also, the professor of English has a PhD from Gujarat University. Then we have Amit Chaudhary, who is also the head of the Department of Creative Writing and a professor of creative writing as well. Madhavi Menon, the director of Center of Studies in Gender and Sexuality. Abir Bazaz, assistant professor of English, also the director of PhD program in English. We have Jonathan Gill Harris, professor of English, and then we also have Saikat Majumdar, who's also a professor of English and creative writing at Ashoka. apart from these renowned professors, Ashok also have very prominent faculty members, of up to a number of 20 for the Department of English and Creative Writing. Now, when it comes to the application process in general is sort of segregated into 4 different stages. The first stage of the application process starts with applicants filling the application forms. The application forms have been launched on the website on the 6th of December 2023. And the deadline to submit the application forms, like Keshav said in the beginning of the conversation, is 27th of March. We do not acknowledge any requests of submissions of application form after the deadline is over. And on that case, any incomplete submissions will also not be considered for the later stages of the application process. Then we have the second stage of the application process for the MA English program. After the submission of the application form, a rigorous reading round is conducted. The faculty members in charge of the admissions committee for the MA English program go through each and every single application very rigorously. They make notes of intricate details which are provided in the application form, and they shortlist on the basis of reading of the application forms. The faculty shortlists students for the entrance examination, which is the second stage of the application process. On that note, selected students, after the screening of their application forms, are required to appear for an on-the-spot essay test. The on-the-spot essay test evaluates the following parameters: the engagement with the prompt, critical thinking, clarity of thought, and their creativity. The students also will be given 2 options to choose at the time of writing the essay. And they can choose to write on any one of the essays that are given in the on-the-spot essay test. Then comes the third stage of the application process, which is the personal interview round. If the candidate passes the on-the-spot essay test, they will be invited for an online interview round. The interview round is to also gauge the candidate's suitability for the program and also to understand the acceptance of the students on the basis of the academic rigor at Ashoka University. Because it's a residential campus, the personal interview round also helps us understand if the students we're picking from the lot are going to be best suited for a residential campus or not. Last stage of the application process is the decision stage, where a form offer of admission is sent to the selected candidates on the basis of their aggregate performance on all stages, on all previous stages of the application process. 3 types of decisions are sent. One is the absolute form offers of admissions to the selected candidates. Second is the reject on the basis of their performance on the basis of on all stages of the application process, and the wait list. There is also a list of students who are put on wait list. Just in case selected students withdraw their admissions, we can offer the admissions to the waitlisted candidates at a later stage of the process. The timelines we've discussed several times, and we'll also reiterate and put more focus on it. Application forms are open and have been launched on the website on 6th of December. The submission deadline is 27th of March. Please make a very important note of this date. No application forms after this, no requests of submission after this will be considered. The on-the-spot essay writing test is to be conducted on 28th of April. The interview rounds will be conducted from the 1st to 10th May 2024. And the result will also be declared on the 24th of May. Communication for each and every stage of the application process will be sent to every student within the due course of time. Students do constantly write to us about when do we receive the communication for the on-the-spot essay. Every single request is taken care of. Every single requirement and every single prerequisite is taken care of. We do send communications within the due course of time. Talking about the fee structure of the MA English program, the tuition fees for 1 year is 5,64,000 rupees. Ashoka University offers an on-campus double occupancy for the students of MA English program for all master's programs, and the double occupancy charges for the residents is 1,91,000 rupees. Essential services, which can cover charges around your laundry services, would come around 5,400, which comes down to a total of 7,60,400 rupees. The residence cost for the second year is also subject to revision. In the last 3 years, our fee has gone up to approximately 5 to 8% annually. This percentage is not fixed and is always subjected to change. Then again, our very, very determined Office of Financial Aid, of which Jayati is a prime member of, will talk about the financial aid in depth. To just give a brief overview, this is what the brackets are given. There is, we start from the very basic of 25% waiver on tuition, and we can cover up to 100% waiver on tuition, residence, and meals. Jayati will very thoroughly cover all the details about the financial aid process. If you want to know more about the MA English program, you can visit the website www.ashoka.edu.in, or for any queries regarding the MA English admissions program, you can also write to us over email at mastersenglish@ashoka.edu.in. Our team is very dedicated to respond to your queries within 24 hours if you're sending them to us. We make sure that we provide the best of assistance to every single applicant, every single aspirant writing to us about their interest in the English program. Coming down to our second program, which is the MA Economics program, to give you a brief overview about how the economics department has grown over the last few years. We started the undergraduate program in 2014, where Ashoka also started giving out majors in economics and courses related to economics, such as economics and finance. Then later in 2018, Ashoka decided to have a master's program in economics, and 2020 was when first a department graduated, when first cohort of masters in economics graduated, and Ashoka also got ranked first in India by REPEC. 2023, last year at the batch, we had the 5th batch of MA Economics that graduated from Ashoka, and this year, 2014, will be the 6th batch, and we'll also be welcoming our 7th batch of the academic cohort in the 2024 academic year. About the economics department, 26 faculty members with strong research interests in different fields such as economic theory, game theory, behavioral economics, experimental economics, macroeconomics, monetary economics, economic growth, and development economics are present at Ashoka. Some of the prominent key members of the faculty at Ashoka for the Department of Economics are Professor Bharat Ramaswamy. We have Ashwini Deshpande, Professor Aparajita Dasgupta, Professor Bhaskar Datta, Professor Bishwajit Banerjee, and Professor Ratul Lakar, who is also the head of the department currently for the Department of Economics. Again, the application process comes in 4 different stages, but the process is slightly different than what it is for the MA English program. The application process starts with the first stage, which is a submission of application forms. Like the MA English program, the application forms have been launched on the website on 6th of December. The deadline is the same as the MA English program, which is the 27th of March, 2024. The stage 2 of the application process is the entrance exam, which is mandatory for every candidate who has submitted an application form. If you do not show up for the online entrance examination, your candidature will not be considered for the later stages of the application process. So all the candidates are required to appear for an online entrance examination. The structure of this entrance examination is objective and will consist of multiple choice questions. Because the MA Economics program is not limited to students coming with a background in economics, because it's also open to students with an undergraduate degree in any discipline. In addition to that, there is a required in the entrance examination, the test is designed in such a way which is comfortable for students across varied other disciplines as well. The exam will test students compulsorily on statistics and analytical reason, which will be the mandatory section of the entrance test. But in addition to that, they will be required to choose either the section on mathematics for the students coming from non-economics backgrounds, or the section of economics, whichever the applicants are comfortable with. Then at the 3rd stage of the application process is the interview round. If the candidates passes the entrance examination, they will be invited for the online interview round. The interview round is to gauge the candidate's suitability for the program and to the university's academic rigor. A form offer of admission is made on the final stage of the application process, and students also reject communication is also sent to the students at the final stage of the process, and so is the communication sent to all the waitlisted applicants as well. The timeline is as follows. Application forms, like I said, are open from the 6th of December 2003 onwards. The submission for the deadline, submission deadline for the application forms for MA Economics program is 27th of March. Very important date for all of you students here. Entrance examination date is 5th of May 2024. Interviews will be conducted anywhere from 7th and 24th. Students will be notified of their interview slots prior, and we will send out every communication to every single student giving their slots of interviews. Then the result will be declared on the 31st of May 2024. Placements for the MA Economics program, we have a very dedicated center, which is called the Center of, which is the CDO Career Development Office, which gets in touch with students, helps them build their portfolios and profiles, gets them in touch with with companies, think tanks, and research organizations. Some of them are cited here. The recruited profiles for the students graduating with a degree in economics are some associate consultant profiles, business analysts, quantitative and qualitative research specialists, research associates, associate research managers. Some students also choose to do an extensive research with their professors after their degrees are done. Some of the companies that recruited Ashoka are also in front of all of you in this slide. We also have a lot of think tanks and research organizations, very prominent think tanks and research organizations that have a strong touch with Ashoka University. Some of them are National Institute of Public Policy and Finance, Abdul Jameel Latif Poverty Action Lab. So yes, the Career Development Office will get you in touch with your areas of interest, and then they will also help you build your portfolios and profiles to be recruited in all these reputed organizations and places. Fee structure is very similar to the MA English program. The tuition fees for the program is 5,64,000 annually. On-campus double occupancy for MA Economics program is as well 1,91,000 rupees. Essential services, which covers your laundry services as well, is 5,400 rupees, which also comes down to a total of 7,60,400 rupees. Financial aid, again, very religiously dedicated to catering every single student's requirements and needs on the basis of the financial standing of the family. Jayati will have much more for all of you to talk about in depth. For the class of 2023, 56% of the MA Economics students were on some form of financial aid. And for the cohort of MA English program, 69% of the students were on financial aid. Maybe there is a slight change which Jyoti will later cover. If you want any more information on the MA Economics program, the eligibility criteria, the timelines have been discussed multiple times, but at any point you want to be reassured of the timelines, you can always visit the website at www.ashoka.edu.in. For the queries regarding the MA Economics admissions process, you can write to us at economics@ashoka.edu.in. If you have any more questions, you need any further assistance with the application process, any questions will be welcomed. We'll take them by the end of the call. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Munaza, for that detailed information on the application process for MA Economics and MA English. And thank you, Keshav, for the introduction. Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Jayati Bhatia, and I work with the Office of Financial Aid at Ashoka University. So today I'll walk you through the philosophy behind the need-based financial aid at Ashoka University. I will also tell you the impact this need-based financial aid program has had on the students who have received financial aid. Then we'll be talking about the main sections of the financial aid form. And lastly, we'll be talking about the application timelines for financial aid. So talking about the need-based financial aid program at Ashoka University, well, Ashoka University has been the largest collective philanthropy in education in India, and our aim is to ensure that quality education is accessible to all. So this is really to create, a level playing field for all students and for everyone who wants to study at Ashoka. What we believe is that when a student gets selected, they all should have an equal chance to succeed academically at Ashoka because they have already been through a very rigorous and a very holistic admissions process. However, we do acknowledge that financially, everyone may not be at the same level and they may not be able to afford the fees either in part or in full. So therefore, we have this program, which is based on your ability to pay rather than your academic standing. It really tries to create that level playing field for students so that once they get selected, they get an equal chance to study and their ability to pay does not become a hindrance to joining Ashoka University. Talking about the impact of this need-based program, well, if I add up all the numbers since the beginning, then almost 4,500 and plus students have been benefited from this program. They have either paid only a part of the fees or did not pay any fees. And of the resources that have been pulled in together, almost 510 crore rupees have been spent into funding education for these students through financial aid. Well, this is an amount which has been unheard of in our country, going only towards need-based financial aid. So therefore, if we look at any batch and any set of students who are currently studying at Ashoka, across all the programs, nearly 50% of them are on some form of aid. So some form of aid means that if you qualify for financial aid, you can get a waiver of anywhere between a 25% on your tuition fee to a full waiver on all the costs, which will include your tuition, residence, and meals. Now, this typically means that you can get a waiver of anywhere between 1.4 lakhs to almost 7.5 lakhs per annum of your fees. So therefore, financial aid, it is not a single or a binary yes or a no, that yes, you will get financial aid or no, you will not. If you qualify, it is actually a gradient and a range, and you can get anywhere between a 25% waiver on the tuition fee to a full waiver on all the costs, which will cover everything, which includes your tuition, residence, meals, and essential services as well. Now, talking about who can apply for financial aid, well, anybody can apply for financial aid. There is no limitation as to who can apply, but there is just one logical step which is involved, which is that you can only apply for financial aid once you have received a firm offer of admission. So once you get a firm offer, a link will be available on your portal and it will ask you to go to that link and then you can fill in the form within a stipulated time. So, we would encourage everyone to please apply for financial aid as there is no costs involved in, applying for financial aid. Only a bit of your time is involved. Now coming to the process for financial aid, well, if you have all the documents and all the information ready with you, in our experience, we have seen that candidates can fill in the form within a 1 or 2 day window. And as the form requires a lot of details about the financials of a family, we would request that, you should involve your parents or your guardians in the process of filling the financial aid form. I will now walk you through the main sections of the financial aid form. So as you can see on the screen, there are 4 main sections. First is the personal and family details section. So this section asks for details related to where you have studied, where you live, your address details, your contact details, and the details of your family members, their education, their occupation, and also your siblings details. The next main section is the earning members details section and the professional and business details section. So this section mainly asks about the income details of your family members and business details if your family owns a business or a profession. Next main section is the wealth and expenses section. So this section requires you to provide details of all the assets and investments which your family possess, and also all the fixed expenses which your family incurs in a financial year. The last and the most important section is the comments section. So this is the place where you can explain in detail the reason why you want to apply for financial aid, and you should mention all the details you feel that we should know when we are assessing your financial aid application. And it is also very useful for you to know that our assessment is completely based on the information which you provide to us. So please ensure that you provide to us an exhaustive information and a holistic information, and do ensure that no information is hidden with us. Because as a process, when we will be evaluating your financial aid assessment, we might reach out to you through emails or through calls. And in that process, if the team figures out that the applicant or the family is trying to withhold some information in relation to the assets they own or the kind of investments they have, then that will automatically disqualify your financial aid application. So please ensure that all the information which you mentioned in the financial aid form is absolutely true and honest, and we will ensure at our end that we assist you in the best possible manner in terms of providing financial aid. Now, talking about some of the important factors which you should keep in mind when you are filling in the financial aid form. So the first and the most important thing is that when you have filled in the financial aid form, do remember to click on the submit button, because in our experience, we have seen that sometimes students do fill in the entire financial aid form, but they do not click on the submit button, and hence the form does not get submitted. So it's mandatory for you to click the submit button, and an acknowledgement will be shared with you on email, which will mention that your form has been successfully submitted. So until and unless you don't get that acknowledgement mail, just write to us, and you can ask us if your form has been submitted. But do ensure to click on the submit button at the end of your financial aid form. Then on the screen now, you can see this email ID, which is postgraduate.financialaid@ashoka.edu.in. So it is mandatory that you bookmark this email ID so that any conversation which happens with you through this email ID does not get missed, and it should not go into your spam folder. And later, if you come to us and then you say that you missed this email, we will not be able to support you because our timelines are very, very stringent. Another important aspect to keep in mind is that we do understand that when you are filling a financial aid form, you might have a lot of questions around certain information to be uploaded or certain documents to be attached. So it is very, very important that you reach out to us within the window which we have given to you to apply for financial aid. In case you reach out to us later after the financial aid deadline is over, then we will not be in a position to support you and enable the form for you later. So it's very, very important that you keep that 5-day window which you will get to submit the financial aid form in mind. And any queries, any concerns you have, please do feel free to reach out to us, and we will ensure that we assist you in the best possible manner and help you in submitting the financial aid form within the deadline date. Also, in some cases, we have seen that since we ask for a lot of financial information, and sometimes applicants or students are not aware of these financial information, they tend to sometimes write the wrong information at the wrong place. So it's important that if you can involve your parents or your guardians in the process of filling in the financial aid form, because we ask for a lot of financial information, and in case you enter the wrong information at a wrong place, this can really affect your financial aid assessment. Okay, so now coming to the most important question, which is that when can you apply for financial aid? So as and when you will receive a firm offer of admission, at the same time your financial aid application form will also be enabled. When you receive a mail, when you will receive an email for your offer of admission, that will also have the link available where you can go and access your financial aid form. And on your student portal, you will find that link to apply for financial aid and to start filling the form. On the screen, you can see the dates for financial aid applications. So for a Master's in English program, the financial aid forms will open on 24th of May 2024, which is the same date when your admission decision will be declared. You will get a 5-day window to submit the form. So the form closes on 29th of May 2024 at 5 p.m. So you need to keep these dates in mind and start preparing and collating all the information beforehand, so that once the form goes live, you just start with the process of filling in the form, and you're not collating all the information and documents at that point of time. And for the Masters in Economics program, the financial aid forms will open on 31st of May 2024, which is the same date when your offer of admission decision will be declared. And again, you will get a 5-day window to submit the financial aid form, and your deadline will close at 4th of June, 5 p.m. So be very mindful of these dates and start preparing for all the information and all the documents which you need to submit the financial aid form. And when you are collating all the information, when you are trying to get all the information, in case you have any queries, any concerns, please feel free to write to us at this email ID, which is shown here, postgraduate.financialaid@ashoka.edu.in. And we ensure you that we'll assist you in the best possible manner and help you figure out what documents you can get in case you do not have an ITR available or a loan document is not available, which are mandatory documents to be submitted in the financial aid form. Also, we would request you to please visit our website at www.ashoka.edu.in/admission/financial aid. Here you can find a copy of the sample financial aid form. So please go through that sample financial aid form, get yourself familiarized, and in case of any queries, you can write to us at postgraduate.financialaid@ashoka.edu.in. Now over to Keshav for the Q&A session.
Thank you, Jyoti and Munaja, for a wonderful presentation. Those who have questions can put down their questions in the Q&A section. I will read out some of the questions to Jyoti and Munaja to answer. So for the MA Economics program, the question is, what is the eligibility criteria for the application? Does Ashoka accept the national eligibility test?
The eligibility criteria for applying to Ashoka for the MA Economics program is to have an undergraduate degree in any discipline. An economics degree is not a prerequisite. We do not accept any national eligibility tests. And on that note, Ashoka does have their own online entrance test examination for the applicants for the MA Economics program, if that answers your questions.
So the next question in the row, do I have to sit for the entrance exam even if I have taken the NET jam? I believe this question is answered.
Yeah, like I said, it is a mandatory test. Your application will not be considered for the further stages of the application process if you do not show up for the online entrance examination.
Exactly. Okay. So what is the process of getting a direct admission if I am a current UG student at Ashoka?
So for the current undergraduate students of Ashoka, to get a direct admission, you'll have to be confident of scoring a 3.6 CGPA throughout all your 4 years. And then also you need to have a degree. You need to also have a major in economics and a major or an interdisciplinary major of economics and finance. These are 2 prerequisites for getting a direct admission in MA Economics for undergraduate students of Ashoka.
So the question is for MA Economics, like I don't have anyone who can give me an LOR. So what should I do in the application? If I don't give the LOR, then will the university consider me for admission or not? So the same question goes for the MA English admissions too. So if you can like elaborate for both the admissions process.
Okay, sure. So for the MA Economics program, LOR is not a mandatory field, but your application form will not be submitted unless you don't fill in the portal for the recommenders details. In that case, what you can do is, it is mostly advisable and encouraged for every student to get a letter of recommendation because it adds a lot of value to your application and candidature here at Ashoka. But in case you're not able to get a letter of recommendation for the MA Economics program, what you can do in the recommenders portal is to write NA, which the text like NA, which means not applicable till all aspects of that segment of the application form are covered. And then later you can submit your application form, because unless and until you don't fill your application form with any details in the recommender section as well, it will not allow you to submit the application form. On the flip side, when it comes to the program of MA English, letter of recommendation is a mandatory field. You will have to mandatorily submit a letter of recommendation against your candidature to be eligible to be considered for the next stages of the process. In case you do not have anybody from your previous university to write a letter of recommendation for you, it is not important. It is not important to only have your professors write the letter of recommendation. Anybody who knows you in an academic or a professional setting can write a letter of recommendation for you. From today onwards, you still have 2 weeks time to get in touch with anybody who knows you in these two capacities to help you write your letter of recommendation. I think this information will be helpful. Just in case you need further assistance, you can always write to us on any of the two inboxes for MA Economics program as well as for MA English program.
Okay, thank you, Manaja. Can I apply even if I don't have a background in economics or maths for the MA economics?
Yes, you can apply. The MA Economics program is not only designed for students with a bachelor's degree in economics.
So, is there any age limit for joining the MA Eco program?
No age limit.
Or how about English? MA English.
No age limit for any of the programs at Ashoka.
Okay. It is mentioned in the information brochure that LOR is not mandatory. I think we have answered this question. Very beautiful question. What percentage of students do fill out the application form are actually eligible to appear in for the entrance exam? Do all applicants get the chance to take the entrance exam? I believe this has been answered, and like everyone who applies for the application for the admission, are required to sit for the entrance exam, right, Manaja?
Yes, Keshav. But if the question is about the students for MA English program, not all students will be asked to sit for the on-the-spot essay test. Only shortlisted students on the basis of the evaluation of their application forms will be shortlisted for the on-the-spot writing test, the online test. The communication will be sent to them prior to that stage. So yes, only shortlisted students for MA English will be sitting for the test, but MA Economics test is mandatory for everybody to take.
Okay. So the question for MA English is like, what is the on-spot essay test like in terms of topics covered, word limit, and time given?
So the time duration for the test is 30 minutes. To ensure a fair and a standardized evaluation process for all applicants, we do not disclose topics for the on-the-spot essay writing test. This approach is only designed to sort of, make the process very fair and consistent for every student. But what you can do is the selected topics generally align with the academic and literary focus for the MA English program. We recommend familiarizing yourself with general essay writing strategies, maybe staying upfront with the current literary trends, and reinforcing your understanding of key concepts within the field that you think will make you suitable for the MA English program. You still have time to appear in that test. I think brushing up on all of these aspects is something that you should look forward to. Again, no word limit within the 30 minutes as well, if I covered all aspects of the question, Keshav.
Yeah. So there's a question for financial aid, like how will you determine how much percent a student will get for the financial aid? Is there any criteria? And like how we can apply for financial aid?
Okay, so there is not one set criteria to evaluate your financial aid application. We ask for a lot of information in the financial aid form, which starts with the income details of your family. Then we also ask about the asset details, the kind of expenses your family have. And we also say that if a family have an ability to take an education loan. So a combination of all these factors are considered while we are evaluating your financial aid assessment. And talking about when you can apply for it, so you can only apply for financial aid once you have received a form offer of admission. So the date when you receive a decision on your admission offer, the same date your financial aid form will also open, and you will have a 5-day window to apply for financial aid.
So this one more follow-up question for the financial aid. It's like, what are the important documents to submit for the financial aid? And in case if the candidate does not have an ITR, which income proofs are required?
Okay, so the important documents which are required to be filled in the financial aid form are firstly the ITRs for the last 3 years of the earning members, salary slips if any of your family member or the earning member is a salaried person, and the bank account statements for the last 12 months. Apart from that, if anyone in your family is involved in a business, then we will also be needing business details, which will include again business ITRs for the last 3 years, business bank statements for the last 12 months, Form 26AS for the last 3 years, GST receipts for the last 3 months, and also Yeah, these documents are required for business families or any person in the family having a profession. And apart from that, if your family has a loan against any property which you have mentioned or against a vehicle, or apart from this, if you have any sort of a personal loan or an education loan, then you need to attach the loan statements along with the EMI schedule. And if a family does not have an ITR, then instead of the ITR, you can either attach a government issued certificate, which you can get from your local tehsildar, or else if it's a salaried family, if they have salary slips, they can attach that. They can attach the contract letter from the organization where your family member is working. And lastly, if nothing is available, then you can attach a self-attested document wherein you can mention your family's annual income, the reason why there is no ITR available, and that will also be acceptable, but that is the last resort. So please try firstly to procure an ITR, because it's not mandatory that if your family's income is above a certain threshold, only then you can apply for ITR. You can also fill in ITR even if your family income is below the ITR level, and then try to get a government issued certificate, income certificate.
Thank you, Jyoti. So the question is for MA English program, what is the academic requirement for the MA English program in terms of undergrad academic background or any percentage requirement?
Like I said, Ashoka University as a whole, does cater to a lot of students coming from different other disciplines as well. So there is no set criteria of what undergraduate degree you need to do for being eligible to an MA English program. But there is a minimum percentage requirement for the students doing any undergraduate degree programs. If your score is less than 55% in your all 3 years of undergraduate degree, you will not be eligible for the program. The minimum requirement percentage is 55%. For foreign universities, if they function on a CGPA system on a scale of 4, the minimum requirement is a 3 CGPA.
Thank you, Jyoti. Okay, so the question is, are Haryana students eligible for any fee concessions? What's the certificate they need to share? And also for the international students in terms of financial aid and living and staying on campus, if you can share a detail on that.
Okay, so yes, Haryana students are eligible for a fee concession, and they need to share a Haryana resident certificate, which should be in their name to qualify for this fee concession. And students will get a minimum fee concession of 25% waiver on the tuition fees if they share the Haryana domicile certificate with us. Apart from that, for international students, our financial aid process remains the same. So they will be required to fill in the financial aid form within the 5-day window, and our assessment will be done in a similar manner. So there is no separate process for international students. They also need to follow the same process if they want to apply for financial aid.
So there's a follow-up question, like what is the family annual salary limit beyond which a student is not eligible for financial aid?
So there is no particular income cutoff as such beyond which you will not get financial aid. As I've mentioned, that we look at all the factors, which includes your income, assets, expenses which a family has, and also a family's ability to take an education loan. So considering all these factors, if we still feel that a family needs some support from our end to bridge the gap between the cost of the program and your ability to pay, then you do qualify for financial aid. So if you feel that you want to apply for financial aid and you need some support from the university to pursue your education at Ashoka University, please do feel free to apply for financial aid.
Okay. Do we have any application fee for applying to programs?
There is no application fee to submit any application for any programs at Ashoka.
Yeah, that answers the question. Okay, so there's a general question. Is there a provision for working people to apply for the course remotely or part-time remote?
No, Ashoka University also does not offer any courses online or part-time.
I have completed my graduation, but my college is still yet to provide me with a degree. If I don't attach my undergraduate degree in the form, will that be okay?
So the application form asks you to mandatorily submit your first year and second year undergraduate degree, undergraduate mark sheets, your annual mark sheets for your first year and second year, because also by the time the application deadline is over, a lot of students are currently in their third year. So it will only be unfair for us to ask all 3 years of mark sheets for the undergraduate degree programs. So it's only mandatory for you to submit your first year and second year mark sheets and not your aggregate degree. But after the submission of your application form with your first and second year mark sheets, the Office of Admissions will get in touch with you and they'll give you a provision of some time to submit your final mark sheet as well. So failing to which your candidature might also be revoked in case you do not submit the annual mark sheet within the due course of time.
So you talked of the placements in the MA Economics program, but then I guess there's a question about English program. Like, are there no placement opportunities for MA English?
Definitely there are. Like I said, our very dedicated center, the Center for Career Development Office, helps every single student from every single course of program doing at Ashoka, helps them to build their portfolio and get in touch with people and facilities that they want to work with. Again, like I said, for the MA Economics program as well, there is plenty of research opportunities within the campus in itself. If you want to work closely with the professors, you can get in touch with them. You can send them their research proposals and they will help you with providing the right means and resources to conduct that research. There are a lot of centers and offices within the university as well. So yes, there are going to be placement opportunities for students of MA English program as well.
Yeah, to add to Munaja, like I've been talking with many students of MA English program, and like quite a few of them are interested to do research and they go abroad for their PhDs, and a chunk of them want to go to corporate and do pursue the editor role or jobs in journalism sector. So they do go for that placements from
Yes.
Ashoka. Thank you, Munaja. Will my brother's income be considered as part of family income, or for that sake, my siblings' income, or like if there are people in joint family, and like so will their income be considered for the financial?
So siblings' income is not considered in the financial aid application. However, still we would encourage you to mention the income details of your sibling so that we can get a holistic idea about your family's financial situation. The primary responsibility is of the parents to fund the education of the student. But, in some cases, if the sibling is the main primary earner or they have been shouldering some responsibilities, then it will be good for us to know that your sibling is earning and how much is he earning so that we can make a more informed decision about your financial aid grant.
Thank you, Jyoti. So this is a question for MA English program. For the MA English, can the interview dates be flexible according to the students' needs, as they have their final exam, semester exams coming up, which might clash with the interview dates?
Yes, absolutely. Once you're sent the details of your personal interview round, if they clash with any of your examinations, you can write to the office and they will definitely take care of such concerns.
Okay. In case the improvement or reevaluation results have not been updated in the official mark lists, can we still enter the updated marks in the education details section and upload the old marks in the document section?
You can, yes. In the application form, there will be a text box provided to you to write additional information where you're filling up your academic details. So you can give us a heads up by filling up details as such that you're talking about right now in that text box. But like I said, as a response to one of the questions earlier as well, that there will be given you, there'll be given some kind of time provision to students whose mark sheets are awaited. So in case your improved mark sheet is awaited, and we will require that to match with the marks that you've provided in the application form, you will also be given provision of time. But if you do not submit your mark sheets by that time, your application will also be considered incomplete.
Okay, so the question is, will the test be home proctored? I believe the home test is supposed to be home proctored.
Yes, the test will be online. It will be proctored online.
Okay. So the on-the-spot essay writing for MA Economics is to be held online or offline?
Yes, like I said, it is going to be online.
Okay. What is the average MA Economics cohort size?
So we do not have a set cohort size every academic year. It all only depends on the quality of the applications that we receive, and also how holistically we assess each applicant depending on their performance in each stage of the application process. So there is no hard and fast rule upon the number of students who are taking for every single course. It can vary, and it has varied from the last years. So there is no hard and fast rule about the number of students we take per cohort.
Okay. Can you please bring light on the MA English program's interest taste in detail? How should I prepare for the MA English entrance program? Any textbook resources I can refer to?
Like I said, I mean, it is only fair, and it is only fair for us to not give out topics to all applicants about what they can expect in the on-the-spot essay, right? But to add on to this, what you can do is, I will reiterate what I said before as well. The selected topics generally align with the academic and literary focus on the MA English program. We would recommend you to familiarize yourself with general essay writing strategies, stay abreast with the current literary trends, reinforcing your understanding of key concepts within the field of English. I mean, the more reading you do, the better your writing gets, right? So this is something that I can personally advise you to help yourself with the on-the-spot essay test for the English program.
So, is a foreign undergraduate degree accepted for MA English program?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. I believe that brings us to the end of the. Okay, there's a few more questions. Would you say the MA Eco is academically rigorous at Ashoka? There's no doubt about it. I'm at MA Economics program, and the program is very rigorous. For the initial admission process, is the LOR admission date within 7 days after 27th or 7 days after the individual submits the admission form?
The deadline to submit the letter of recommendation is 7 days after the deadline submission of your application forms, which makes it 3rd April for both the programs, MA Economics as well as MA English. 3rd April is the date, so you can make a note of this date for the submission of letter of recommendations.
Yeah. Okay. I think that brings us to the end of the question and answer session. Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you, Munacha.
Keshav, I can read out one more question if you don't mind me answering that question. There is a student about that in case I failed in one of the subject in my final year, so that I have to give a re-paper next year. Does Ashoka accept the undertaking, right? We will require your aggregate score of all 3 years for you to be considered as an undergraduate and later to be considered as a student for MA Economics program. So unfortunately, I don't think in this case you'll be considered for the program.
Okay, thank you, Munacha.
Okay. Thank you, Keshav. Just as a last closing note, I want to say that we have a sample financial aid form available on the website. So please go through it once, look through the sample financial aid form and the mandatory documents which are required. And in case you have any questions, please feel free to write to us on postgraduate.financialaid@ashoka.edu.in. And wishing you all the best for your application. Thank you.
Thank you, Jyoti.
Submit your application forms is 27th March. So in case you have any problems while facing any problems you face while filling up the application form, you know the admissions team at Ashoka is at your service to help you proceed further smoothly in that application form. So please do not hesitate to reach out to us through email for both the programs, and we will try our best to sort of help with any assistance that we can provide.
Okay. So thank you for joining for today's webinar, everyone. I hope you enjoyed being part of our discussion on Masters at Ashoka application process and financial aid. Before we wrap up the session, I would really appreciate it if you could please take a minute to share your valuable feedback with us. The link to the feedback form is provided in the chat box. Kindly note that the recording of the session will be available on Ashoka's YouTube channel in case you would like to share it with your friends. Please note that the deadline to apply for the MA Economics and MA English programs at Ashoka University is 27 March 2024, so apply soon. The application link for applying is provided in the chat box. If you have any further queries regarding the MA Economics and MA English programs, feel free to write us at economics@ashoka.edu.in and Masters English at ashoka.edu.in respectively. Once again, thank you, our speaker, for taking out time to participate in this discussion. This brings us to the end of the session. Have a nice evening, everyone.